morning and welcome to the free daily coaching hangout. Your daily hangout for mindset, tech tips, and everything attraction marketing. We're here every morning at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. Sit back or jump in. Either way, remember to have some fun. Here at freedailycoaching.com.
All right. Good morning and welcome everyone to Free Daily Coaching. I just thought of this while the opening song was going. I thought it's time to step it up for you guys at the holidays and have like a little holiday jingle. You know, we could have had a Merry Christmas from Free Daily Coaching. So from now, I'm going to make an effort from now until New Year's. We'll have a Happy New Year's Free Daily Coaching song. So we'll work on it and we'll get that done. So the next holiday, we won't count tomorrow Christmas because production kind of ends after the hangout this morning, and then people go into like turkey mode, and there's, you know, candied yams happening, and who knows, whatever, and there's stuffing happening. It's like a revisiting of Thanksgiving. All of a sudden, there's all this food is going to be happening today. So I promise that for New Year's we will do that. So it's Christmas Eve. If you're watching on Google Plus or YouTube, you're saying, okay, Bert's going a little bit crazy this morning. Today he's got the garland going, he's got his elf hat, his, you know, frosty beard from the snow, and what's going on? Well, if you're watching the recording, then you're watching the Christmas Eve version of the Free Daily Coaching Call. And it's a really special call because on this day of the week, on Wednesdays, we do an interview, and we try to bring someone in to the Free Daily Coaching Call, A, that's never been a guest before, and B, someone that's just crushing it in their industry, someone that's obviously getting massive results, someone that's having success, and they're not having success because they're the popular kid, or they did like this one thing this one month that, you know, and got 100 leads in 1 month, or they made $10,000 one time. We're bringing on people that have had sustained results year after year after year, over and over, that have really proven that they're a force in the marketplace. And so I'm really excited this morning to bring in someone that that's really, really special in my business, because just a little over 2 years ago, just a little bit over 2 years ago right now at this time was I was searching around on the internet, and I remember I remember, guys, because Jessica hates light at nighttime, and I was in bed, and I had the covers over me on the iPad, and I was scrolling on the internet, and I was so not into what I was doing, and I so wanted to do something different, and I came across this Rob 4 guy, and then I was looking at something that was related, and then this Rob 4 guy popped up again, and then all of a sudden, everywhere I looked on the Google, right? I was Google this or Google that. This Rob 4 guy was everywhere. I was like, this is all I knew. I was like, holy crap. Excuse my bad words, guys. If you know, I know it's a religious day for some people. I'm just trying to be real. I was looking on my iTab. I was like, holy crap, this Rob 4 guy is like the internet genius. He's everywhere. Like, I don't know what he's doing, but I'm going to join whatever he's doing. I'm calling this guy. And guys, that's literally how it started. I started with like a 3-day or a 10-day trial, right? I remember because I looked it up. It was December 10th. I started a 10-day trial, and that was the beginning of my journey. And as many of you guys know, there's a whole fun backstory about how I went through Rob's video boot camp, and I went crazy and got lost. I tried to fire Rob. I did everything that you could possibly do. I made all the mistakes that you could make. But what a wonderful, wonderful mentor, someone to have that was in place the whole entire time, just kept on doing exactly what he's been doing for years now, and just kept on doing it, right, and providing that example, so that when I finally got to the place where I could raise my hand and ask the question, he was right there, and he said, oh, yeah, what's the question, buddy? And I asked the question, and he's like, oh, that's an easy answer, let me tell you. So, good morning and welcome for the very first time, Rob, over to the Free Daily Coaching Call.
Woohoo! I'm so excited, Bert, to be here. You know, when you popped the screen this morning and I saw the Christmas tree and the hat and the garland, it's like, it just made my spirit dance. The holidays, to me, is like the funnest time ever. You know, because people are just in a different mood. They're more receptive, or they have bigger dreams and goals, or they have Christmas present bills they got to pay, you know, so it's all more receptive. But yeah, well, I didn't know it was December 10th. That's kind of cool because that's actually my wife's birthday.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, so you'd actually signed up on her birthday. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that is cool. Yeah, it's so let's, I know you've never been here before, Rob. This is what, I always like to say this to a few of you. There's some really key people that have made a difference in my business, and obviously without you being everywhere on Google and all over the internet, I wouldn't have I may not be here right now. So in a weird way, you kind of created this craziness that we do every morning, the free daily coaching, because you literally introduced me into a system, a marketing platform that I've used for the basis of my entire home-based business.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of cool. Well, it really happened for me the same way. It was just a different time period. Mine was about 4 years ago, and I was building a network marketing company, buying leads, picking up the phone, dialing for dollars, and it was working. We had built a small team of about 3,000 people over about 3 years, but I was really getting burnt out. It's like I'm really tired of having to suit up and show up every day and get on the telephone. So I was doing the same thing you were doing. I just started looking around the internet for a different way. And I spotted a guy's video. He had long hair. He's on the beach acting all crazy. And he starts doing this video, talking to you, and then he turns around and he jumps in the ocean. And like 5 minutes later, I'm still watching the guy swim in the ocean, and he comes back and he shakes his head, gets the camera all wet. Then he says something else. It's like, who is this guy that has the audacity to leave me hanging for 5 minutes? And then I started thinking, well, it worked, didn't it? He kept my attention. So I started following that guy, and he led me into the same system that you were led into. And for me, that was when everything changed. That's when I went into the training. I said, okay, let me review the marketing methods that are available and pick the one or two that make the most sense for me. And so I picked blogging and SEO. And then just started doing what we do. And here we are. So it is funny. It's really just getting out there, however you get out there, so that you attract people.
So this is a great segue. So when you and most of the people that are on the call know that what system we're alluding to and a lot of the tools that we use. It's not like we're trying to keep it a big secret.
Okay.
So when you because you had already been networking, so you were dialing for dollars. You were building a team. You had some. Guys, I want everyone to be clear. When Rob's talking about a small team of 3,000 and he's saying that he had some success, first of all, dialing for dollars is a lot of work, right? There's people over in the chat. There's a few I know that are here this morning, like Mina, that have gone and done that same thing, bought leads and just started going for it. However, it did yield you result. So when you say some result, you were getting a fairly decent return. You were getting a good result, but what you did was you took it to a whole nother level. You're like, and a lot of people don't know this. They don't know that you had built this networking team, so how to use the phone, how to communicate on a one-on-one level. They don't think that. They just think oh, Rob Ford, he's like an SEO genius, right? He's like a computer wizard. They don't know that on the front end of that, you learn some basic networking skills that you apply now to all your automated systems. I know Rob, guys, and I know that some of you guys do too. You've met Rob, and you probably are on his email list. If you're not, go over to robford.com, right? Go over to his blog, sign up. I'll read his emails even sometimes today and start reading them like he sat down and wrote me a letter. Halfway through the letter, I'm like, Bert, if Rob could send you a personal message, this is an email, dude. This isn't to you. But you learned those skills back when you were dialing for dollars. So how did you make that transition from doing this, manually to starting to automate the process? What did that look like?
For me, it was working. I've been building this thing for about 3 years, and I had personally signed up about 800 people over 3 years that had morphed into a team of 3,000. But my team wasn't duplicating really, really well. So I was teaching what I was doing. Hey, I'm buying leads here. Here's what I'm saying to people on the phone. And a lot of people just don't like to do that. And so they kept saying, Rob, we want to build it on the internet. Al Gore invented this thing for us. And it's like, okay, well, all right, let me go figure it out. And I had not done it. I had a blog, but I had like 7 posts on that blog in 3 years. I didn't even really know what the heck it was. And so I really went on search mode because the team was asking for it. And then once I discovered it, then for me it was like, okay, well, I made a decision. Okay, I'm not making any more calls. And keep in mind, that was how I built the business. So all of a sudden, I was like a complete green newbie dorkazoid going, let's make money on the internet. And so I had to get in and literally figure that out. So to me, it was just a decision that I drew in the sand. So from now on, I will not call leads until I figure out how to do this, and then I can teach my team. So in a sense, I painted myself in a corner, and I was one scared puppy because that's all I knew how to do is pick up that phone and talk to people.
Yeah. I think there's a huge lesson right there and I think that we all do this to ourselves, and maybe this is just, maybe I'm just weird like you, and that's a compliment, right? Because if you guys know Rob, you gotta be a little weird to be able to pick up the phone and call like 1,000 people, like just like, okay, I'm gonna call them, right? You gotta be a little weird to have the hustle that it takes sometimes to do things a little bit out of the box. And one of those things that we do is we paint ourselves into a corner. And I think a lot of people, the difference, and it's so profound, the difference is you painted yourself into a corner that required you to take specific action steps to get out of that corner, but you didn't paint yourself, in this instance that we're talking about, you didn't paint yourself into a corner that you couldn't get out of. And I think what a lot of us do is we want to do that technique. We want to put ourselves into this corner so we give ourselves really no other option than to break out and move forward. However, some of us paint ourselves into a corner so far back into the corner, so tight, that there's no elbow room to even get any type of leverage. And I think a lot of us do it financially, right? A lot of, like, Rob had skills, guys, that he shared that he was using that were working that allowed him to come over and go, okay, I have mastered these skills. I know I can do it this way, but I'm going to come over here and make myself learn this way, right? He didn't tell you a story about, okay, I'm going to do this way. I'm going to max out every credit card I got. I'm going to mortgage my house. I'm going to sell my cars, right? I'm going to go start living in a tent until I figured this way out. He didn't paint himself into that kind of corner. That could be a story of painting yourself into a corner. That's a different story. And so I think this painting ourselves into the corner and using that as an accelerant to move forward is huge. I think that sometimes we paint ourselves too tightly into that corner.
Well, yeah, I think it's true because, I've always seen where I think a lot of people mistakes is they get the process out of order. And I did the same thing. I mean, when I first joined, I spent a lot of money on tools and CDs and DVDs and personal coaches and mentors and, $5,000 3-day events where they're teaching me how to prospect or how to close leads. Well, I didn't have any leads. So see, the process was out of order. What I needed to learn was how do I generate leads first, then go learn how to close them. So I had actually kind of done it backwards, which is why I ended up buying leads. So I buy leads and then execute the skills I had just learned. So I think a lot of people just get overwhelmed and confused. They go, well, there's Twitter marketing, Facebook and blogging and SEO, and I can buy leads, I can call leads, I can do Hangouts and do all this stuff. And it's kind of like tasties at the buffet table that we're all going to do over the holidays. And after 3 days, you're just fat and lazy. We just never picked a way. And a lot of people pick a way that seems less painful, less emotionally struggling, but it might be the wrong way because the process is wrong. When it comes to building this business, it's all about exposure. You have to expose yourself. There are no secret agents or secret elves on the leaderboards. You know what I mean? You're all over the internet now.
Yeah.
And that's what put you on the leaderboards. You didn't get on the leaderboards and then boom, you're all over the internet. No, you went all over the internet, and that caused the leaderboard shit. So you got to kind of think it through. What's the process, and study kind of in those steps, I think.
Absolutely. I think, that, and this is one of the reasons guys, for everyone that's here, whether you're watching the recording, maybe you're on Google Plus or on YouTube, or maybe you're here live, one of the reasons that I was really excited that, I don't know, and I don't know why it took me so long to even think of that, to invite Rob over. One of the reasons, I think what really sealed the deal was one of the reasons that I wanted to bring Rob over and have Rob share with you guys is because I had the ability, I had a conversation with Rob, and Rob and I were talking. We were just walking down the street, and we were just talking, and Rob was really talking to me about exactly what he just shared with you guys about this process. It's so important. There's all these different components, like Rob was talking about. You go to the buffet table, and there's just everything, right? It's just everything you can think of is there. I mean, guys, I could tell you a story about 2 Christmases ago where I lost 20 pounds because I was so cheap, I wouldn't spend $37 for the CAPTCHAs, those little automated CAPTCHAs. So for a week, I did 8-hour shifts of entering CAPTCHAs. And I told that story to Rob, and he just started laughing, right? And he's like, did you learn a lesson? There was a lesson to be learned in all of that. Right? There's a time to pay for specific tools when your time is more valuable, and then there's a time for you to go and learn a skill set so that you can apply it. There's a time and a place for all of those things. And when I was brand new, I didn't know that, and this is why, guys, because I didn't follow the process. Right? Halfway through step 2, he told me, if I go back and watch those same videos, guys, because I have a Rob 4 folder, email folder, I just save Rob's emails so I can go and watch what he's doing, mentally to me. I can go back and watch the video, and he specifically says to go and do that step, right? But what I did was my own idea. I was like, oh, I know this Rob 4 guy could do that because, and then I added in all kinds of my stuff, because Rob 4 has been doing it for 8 years because he's a genius, because he has money, because of this, because of that, blah, 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 right? So then because I added all that in for you, I got to justify why I got to go do it my own way.
Yeah, it's Bert, that's a huge, huge, huge distinction that I think if people really grasp what you just said. See, I think having success is really easy. If there's a result we want, whatever that is, lose weight, make money, whatever it is, all we need to do is find the person who is already having that success, who's already producing that result. Find out exactly what they're doing and then copy it. So it was Tony Robbins that called it modeling success. Find out what they're doing, do the same exact thing. The challenge, and I've done it too, I'm just as guilty, I raise my hand. We see the process, and we start going through their steps. Like I said, step 2 or step 3, we're going, no, I can't afford it, or no, it's kind of making me a little uncomfortable, or whoa, that's way too much more work than I thought it was going to be. And so we skip that one, and then we go to the next one. See, if we have a proven system, a proven 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 model, we don't know which one of those steps is the step. We don't know which one is the ingredient that puts the whole thing together. So you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot when you skip it. And so you literally have to pick the model and follow it exactly until you're producing results. And then once you get really good at it, your own genius, your own personality, your own magic will automatically be added. But we can't change the process. It just won't work. And I've done it so many times it's almost embarrassing.
It is. The crazy part is when you stop doing your own thing and you realize it and you're like, okay, what am I doing? I just need to go back to step 2 where this person was showing me what to do, and then you go back and I think it's embarrassing to we feel so embarrassed to ourselves because when we go back and do it, we follow the directions, it works, and we're like, oh, and then we always, and guys, it's inevitable. You always make this you follow the steps and it works, and then all of a sudden it's almost surprising. You're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it worked. Like, what do you mean? It's like if you, like, tonight, if you go, this is a spoiler alert, so if they have your kids watching the webinar with you right now, or they're running around behind you, you might want to mute. Spoiler, mute if you have kids behind you. Tonight, when you go into the closet and you pull out, like, Timmy's bicycle, okay, it's guaranteed if you follow steps 1 through 15, at the end of the deal, the training wheels will be on, the chain, the sprocket, everything will be cool. The little tassel-y things, the bling, 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 the little bell will be positioned right, everything will be kosher. If you decide halfway through step 3 that you're going to wing it, and you throw the instructions into the wood stove, in the morning, the chances of the bike looking like the bike that was on the box is pretty slim, unless you've done it before, right? Because you're going to have bolts and tassels and bells and screws, and there's like 5 different kinds of screws, right? Think of the screws as like social media. There's all kinds of different social media. If you go and watch Rob Ford, he doesn't tweet the exact same thing as the Facebook post, and the Facebook post isn't exactly what he puts on his blog post, right? Like, it's a different language. So it's the same thing when when you go to build the bike, you got all these parts. If you don't follow the directions, you're in big trouble.
Yeah, that's huge. I recently bought a course on Instagram, probably about a month and a half ago. Up until then, I literally had not even visited Instagram. I didn't know what it was. But the leader was telling me, hey, we're making leads, and I went from 0 to hero in 6 months, and 6-figure income in 6 months doing Instagram. It's like, well, all right, I'll go do it. So when I get the course and I go do I go, oh, it's just pictures. So I just started throwing pictures up there. And crickets, nothing's happening. It's like, well, this is dumb. Then I decided, well, maybe I should go, like, actually study the course I just paid hundreds of dollars for. And I discovered right away, like you said, probably around step 2, I was doing it all wrong, that there's a particular language, a particular order of doing things. And as soon as I followed the dang instructions, here come the leads, here come the sales. I was like, gosh, isn't that something? Just follow the instructions. And I see people do it all the time. They'll get into, like, this My Lead System Pro or some kind of program, and there's a great big start here button. But they don't start there. They want to start at the end. Let me get to the secret stuff. The secret is the fundamentals. The secret is found in the setup. And then we have to lay that foundation first. Then we slowly build a house. You got to frame it before you put the roof on.
Absolutely. It's fun to, guys, when we're here, this is what's fun, is to see that someone like you, Rob, like, people have, like, an imagination, right? Everyone has this imaginary world that's in their mind of how people are living and how they're doing it. And, they think that you just have, there's like a special Rob 4 button, right? Like, you look down on your laptop and you're like, oh, here it is. I just hit the easy button. You're just, here, I'm just going to hit my, gold Rob 4 button, boom, and everything goes. Like, there's the reason that your stuff is so powerful now, like the automated part of it, is because of all the fundamental work that you did on the front end. Like, someone had to do that. And whether it's, guys, this is the part that I want you to hear, whether it is Rob himself physically doing it, or whether he has people that he's outsourced to help him with graphics or to upload video, or fill in the blank on any one of these tasks. The point is that in the beginning, at the very start of this, Rob learned how to do these fundamental skills himself, because Rob can't hire an outsourced guy to do something if he doesn't know what to tell the guy to do. It's like Rob hiring someone to wax his car, and Rob's never waxed a car. He's never done a hand wash or wax, and so he just buys a thing of turtle wax, and the guy comes to his house and he just hands it to him, and he's like, all right, dude, wax my car. Like, Yeah, like you have to wash the car and dry it off and like have it ready, and then you got to do the circles, and it can't be like the sun on it, right? There's like ways to do it the right way, but if Rob had never waxed a car, if he doesn't know that, right? Then what? He can't just have his buddy wax a car. If he wants to do that, if he wants to outsource the waxing, he's gonna have to go to like a professional, someone that has been trained to do that. What's that mean? That means that Rob's going to be spending more green. That's what it ultimately means, right?
Yeah, yeah, and I've said that for years. Don't let cheap keep you broke. And when you were sharing about the CAPTCHA codes, you didn't want to spend $30 or whatever. That's a prime example of where you were being cheap was keeping you broke. Because you take that $30 by 8 hours, that's like $4 an hour you were working for. So that's exactly what I do. Is when I learn a new process, I personally do it myself. And I mean, I'm intense. I mean, I go in and I learn it. I try to master it. I try to figure out the little tweaks that are necessary. Then once I've got that mastered, then I go, now how do I get my time back? Can I automate it? Can I outsource it? Is this something I can teach to somebody? But in the beginning, we have to get in there and learn it. Otherwise you don't know. I just had a guy the other day. He had some negative SEO done on him, so he wanted somebody to push his blog or push it down off the front page. And he was going to go pay somebody $5,000. I go, do you have any clue what they do? He goes, well, no, but I trust them. It's like you might want to go study the process to, one, see that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. We got to have a little bit more control than just, yay, go build my business for me.
Right. Right, absolutely. I think it's a fundamental part of the business, and I think there's good tools out there. There's good ways to automate. There's awesome ways to use outsourcing to your advantage. I was talking with someone, I forget, like last week, and I said, I'm all about insourcing. In the beginning, you got to insource as much as you can so you know what the hell's going on. Excuse my language, guys, but listen, check this out. If you don't know what the tools do, why would you get it? Like, check this out. People ask me now today, like, what do you do for SEO? I'm like, listen, I don't do anything for SEO. This is what I do. I pay Rob for. That's what I do. When I have a project that I'm working on, I pick blocks of 5s because that's what the service allows me to use, and I use rank and stick. That's it, guys. Listen, I don't mess around with anything else. If I put my stuff into rank and stick and it doesn't rank after the first 30, 60 days, then I look at what's the next step. Then I say, okay, is everything set up right with, and it's another Rob thing, right? Do I have my RSS feeds and everything set up with Audience Builder Pro as well? Am I using some social, tools to engage, like Link Love or something like that? I just go through and guys, this checklist I'm telling you about, it's Rob's checklist. It's not like something I made up, right? I literally just followed Rob's thing, and he's like, look, you do this, then you do this, you post it on this, you drip this, you do this, right? Then if you're not getting the result you want, you add in something else. And literally, it's not like I come up with the idea. Rob already tells you what to do. Like, this is like, well, and he doesn't, guys, the funny part is this. I'm looking at it like he's telling me what to do, when really all he's doing is sharing, this is what I do. So I'm figuring if Rob's doing it and he's getting that result, and I copy his steps, I can mimic those results. And that has been the case thus far. Right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And that's what I did. Anytime I pick a new project, like I just did this new Instagram thing. So I got in, I didn't follow the instructions right away, but when I finally said, maybe I should read the instructions. When I finally followed the leader's teaching, got involved, so okay, now it's producing a result. Now it's producing a result. Now is there a way that I can get my time back? Because it's, what we're seeking is time freedom and financial freedom. And most of us have full-time lives, full-time careers, full-time kids, chores, shopping. So how in the world can we create a full-time income working part-time? Well, you got to master the skills that are going to take you to the next level the quickest. And then once you've done that, how can you get your time back? And that's where you automate. Like in this case, same thing. I just went to the leader and go, do you have a system where you can do this for me? You know, I mean, now that I know what you're doing and how to do it, now that I know how to do it myself, woohoo! I really would prefer that you do that for me, and I'll pay you. You know, but in the beginning, when you're not making money, or even if you are making money, you should learn it yourself. I believe, just so that you know what the heck is going on, because things do change. So that way, if it doesn't work later on, you might have a clue why. What did I break? What fell through the cracks that I need to, you know, put a gummy bear in or something?
Absolutely. Well, guys, that's it. We made it to the top of the hour. I have to jump on. We have to jump on to another call. I wanted to say thank you guys so much for joining us. Rob, thanks. I wanted to thank you so much for joining us, and really we will have you back out again so that we can do this again, so that we can.
This has been fun. Everybody that's on the call, or if you're listening to the recorded call, it doesn't matter what day it is. Treat the day as if it is a holiday. So happy holidays. Whatever day it is, it's all a holiday.
It is all a holiday. Thank you so much, Rob, for sharing with us this morning all of your genius. Guys, we'll have Rob back out. Next time, now that Rob's been here, next time we'll do an announcement ahead of time so we won't have it as a surprise. And so that way you guys can come up with some questions that you guys want to ask Rob specifically, and we'll do an interactive Q&A with Rob if he's game for it, and we'll get it all set up.
Beautiful.
Awesome. Thank you, Rob. Thanks, guys. Go out and have a Merry Christmas. Talk to you soon.